The best need to fight the best. Y'all need to figure out a damn way to make it happen. Shakur, yeah, we know that you don't want to damn get in the ring with no damn Haney. We know you scared of his ass too. You know what I mean? You scared of all that weight he gonna put on after the damn weigh-in. I know. Trust me. I know. Yeah. And you scared to fight Keyshawn Davis too. A fighter asking for so much money, yeah, you duck it. Straight up. You know what I mean? Yeah. And if y'all can't get the weight situation going, that's ducking too. Come on now. Shakur, your ass ain't out of the weeds yet either. I'm gonna get on your ass next too. Yeah.
Tim Bradley did not hold back after the Devin Haney fight with Shakur Stevenson fell apart. And now his words have pushed the whole debate to another level. Instead of treating it like normal boxing business, Bradley made it sound like Shakur is avoiding the biggest challenge in front of him, and that his fans asking one thing, is this really about Bradley's timing or is there fear behind it? Actually very simple. He wants the talking to stop and the pressure to become real. In his view, if Devin Haney is the champion with a belt, then Shakur Stevenson should be placed in position as the mandatory challenger. That would remove the online arguments, the mixed messages, and the endless excuses. Devin would either have to defend the title against Shakur or make another move that fans can judge for themselves. But Bradley is not just calling for the fight because it sounds good. He is basically saying that the sanctioning body can end all the confusion by forcing the matchup into a real decision. No more fantasy talk, no more who wants it more debates. If the fight becomes mandatory, then the truth comes out fast. Either Devin takes the fight or the fans see exactly what happens next.
Your welterweight title, who's holding the belt is Devin Haney. Why don't you go ahead and make him the mandatory? Just make him the mandatory. What we doing? Stop playing. Stop ski skirting. Just make him the mandatory to face Devin. And then Devin have to make a choice, whether he's going to keep his belt or not. To save all this bullshit for somebody else and just go straight to it. And let's check Devin's, how his temperature is, you know what I mean? Let's see what he really talking about and if he really about that action. Or he gonna ski skirt and go the other way. Yeah, Dev, you got until August to have some sort of fight lined up, player. Yeah, you
From there, Bradley also pushed back against the idea that weight should be the reason this fight does not happen. His argument is that Shakur Stevenson is not some limited fighter stuck in one division. He has already moved through different weight classes. He has experience, and Bradley believes Shakur has the skill set to compete at both 135 and 140 without losing what makes him special. That is why Bradley keeps focusing on the difference between simply making weight and making weight while still being strong. In his eyes, Shakur has the body, the discipline, and the talent to make this work if both sides truly want the fight. So when people bring up weight as the main problem, Bradley does not seem convinced to him. If the demand is there, and both fighters really want to settle it, then there is a realistic path to making the fight happen.
Talk about Shakur and Haney, right? Yeah, Shakur is a 4-division world champion, right? This ain't no damn excuse. This is straight fact. Shakur can make 135 or 140 pretty damn easily. Straight up, you know? Obviously, let me just go off on another tangent. Obviously, Keyshawn can't make the 140-pound limit. He needs to go up to 47. His ass is outgrown it. So that's where he headed, to 147. But Shakur can make 140 and he can make 135, okay? He can make either or. Easily, okay, and be at an optimum.
And then Bradley's argument gets even sharper when the conversation turns to Shakur possibly moving up. Bradley is not saying Shakur cannot move. In fact, he points out that Shakur's body is still developing, and sooner or later, 147 could even be part of his future. But right now, Shakur is bringing up 144 as a middle ground, which takes the belt out of the conversation and turns it into a straight fight between two elite names. That is where Bradley puts the pressure back on Devin Haney. He is basically saying that if Devin gave concessions before, especially in the Jose Ramirez situation, then why can't he do something similar for Shakur if he truly wants the fight? In Bradley's eyes, that removes the excuse of weight, removes the excuse of the title, and puts the focus back on whether Devin and Shakur actually want to share the ring.
When his body starts to, morph and become, a little bit more dense, he gonna get his ass up to 147, but 144, he said, let's go. 144, we don't even need the title. You can hold on to that title, you pay your little sanctioning fees for that. I ain't gonna pay. We meet at 144 because you gave the other dude concessions. So what? You can't give. You really want to fight? Why don't you give me concessions the same way you did with damn Jose?
Then Bill Haney added even more fuel to the fire when he tweeted, "First it was the money, now it's the weight. You can't make this up." That tweet made the Devin Haney versus Shakur Stevenson drama even hotter because Bill is basically saying the excuse keeps changing. First, the conversation was about whether the money made sense. Then suddenly the debate shifted to weight. And once that happened, fans started questioning what was really stopping the fight from getting made. Devin says he wants it. Shakur is explaining why moving up again is not that simple. And now Tim Bradley is jumping in with a strong opinion that makes the situation look even worse for Stevenson. But Shakur did not stay quiet. He replied, "Bill, you could trick the idiots on here, but you ain't tricking me. You all must need me right now." That response made the situation even more heated because Shakur pushed back directly at Bill's claim. Instead of accepting the idea that he is making excuses over money or weight, Shakur made it sound like Team Haney is using his name for attention. From Shakur's side, Bill is trying to control the online narrative and make fans believe Shakur is the one avoiding the fight. But Shakur is saying he sees through it, and he believes the Hanes need his name right now to keep Devin attached to a major fight conversation. Then Bill fired back and said, "Nah, champ. You tried to trick everybody into believing the Haney versus Stevenson fight wasn't on the table for you." And that reply kept the drama moving because now Bill was accusing Shakur of changing the story. From Bill's side, the fight was available. Devin wanted it. And Shakur is the one trying to convince fans that there was never a real opportunity. Shakur had already claimed Team Haney needed his name. But Bill flipped that right back by saying the matchup was actually there for Shakur to take. That is why this situation has become more than a normal negotiation. It has turned into a public battle over who is telling the truth. Then Keshan Davis jumped into the picture and added another twist by saying, "Davis versus Haney, the biggest fight of the year." That comment connected directly to the back and forth between Bill Haney and Shakur Stevenson. While Bill and Shakur were arguing over whether Haney versus Stevenson was really available, Keshan stepped in and made it clear that he sees himself as the better option. Now, from Keshan's side, if Shakur and Devin cannot agree on the money, the weight, or the timing, then he is ready to move into that position himself. And that puts even more pressure on Shakur because while he is pushing back online, Keshan is publicly calling for the kind of fight that could change his own career. Devin Haney then replied, "Me versus Shakur is the biggest. Our fight would be big, though." That response kept the whole debate alive because Devin did not completely dismiss Keshan. He admitted that a fight with Keshan would still be big. But he made it clear that in his eyes, Haney versus Shakur is still the bigger matchup. And that connects right back to what Team Haney has been saying from the start. They are still pushing the idea that Devin versus Shakur is the fight fans really want, even if Keshan is now standing there as a serious alternative. Then Shakur replied to Devin and said, "And let me guess, I got to come to your weight class to make the fight happen just because you say so." That response brought the entire debate back to the weight issue. Devin is saying that Haney versus Shakur is still the biggest fight, but Shakur is pushing back on the idea that he should be the one moving up just because Devin says so. From Shakur's side, Devin cannot simply call the shots and expect him to jump divisions on demand. And that is exactly why this fight keeps getting more complicated. It is not just about talent anymore. It is about leverage, weight, timing, and who gets to control the terms. Devin then fired back and said, "Whenever you decide to come to my weight class, let's do it. I'll fight your brother Keshan for now." That reply made the situation even more interesting because Devin basically put the pressure right back on Shakur. He is saying the fight can happen whenever Shakur is ready to meet him at his weight. But until then, he is willing to turn his attention toward Keshan Davis. That connects directly to Keshan calling Haney out and claiming their fight could be the biggest of the year. So now the storyline has shifted. Shakur and Devin are still arguing over weight, but Keshan is standing right there as the possible replacement fight. But Shakur kept his next response short and replied, "Will do." That simple answer added another layer to the back and forth because Shakur did not over-explain, argue, or write a long response. Devin had just told him to come to his weight class whenever he was ready while also saying he would fight Keshan for now. Shakur's will do made it sound like he is not completely backing away from the idea, but he is also not letting Devin dictate the terms right now. However, Shakur got angry when a fan replied to his tweet saying, "Haney aside," and Shakur replied, "That don't exist in boxing no more. Stop it." This response sounded like Shakur pushing back against Devin's whole my weight class argument. From Shakur's side, he seems to be saying that modern boxing does not work that simply anymore. Fighters do not always just go where one side tells them to go. Big fights are made through negotiations, catchweights, money, timing, and business decisions. So, while Devin is telling him to come to his weight class, Shakur is basically saying boxing does not move like that anymore. And that keeps the argument alive because now the fight is not just about who wants it more. It is about who gets to set the conditions. Then Bill Haney and Greg Hackett jumped into the conversation and did not hold back while talking about Shakur Stevenson versus Devin Haney. Their discussion made the fight feel even bigger than just another online boxing debate because now the money, the weight, and the negotiations were all being broken down in public.
Talk about that, Shakur is signed to Zuffa. I mean, what's your reaction?
Well, I mean, Eddie, if Eddie ain't got no money at 2026, it's okay to say that. Just okay, Eddie. Just say, listen, it's times I ain't had the money. I don't go start talking about everybody. Just get the money, man. If the market is calling for whatever times, when you have the deal on the table, then we know that that's what's going to set precedent. No longer is it precedent if you're talking about something on the table that's 5 times more. When you only can give 5 times less, then you might be out of business.
They talked about the business side of the matchup, the weight situation, and what it would take for the fight to actually happen. Bill pushed the idea that fighters usually go where the biggest money is, while also making it clear that Devin's team is ready if the opportunity is right.
You can find other jobs doing other. I think he does darts and he does a lot of. When he came over here to the United States, he came over here kicking ass, talking fly shit, talking about fighters getting paid what they're worth. If the gentleman can get 5 times more, then that shows that he was being grossly underpaid, in my opinion.
He says that model won't last too long.
Well, I mean, we're talking about 500 times. We don't say a 50% markup. You don't say a 25% markup. So when it goes 500% up, I mean, when it cooled down, it's still better than that.
They talked about the business side of the matchup, the weight situation, and what it would take for the fight to actually happen. Bill pushed the idea that fighters usually go where the biggest money is while also making it clear that Devin's team is ready if the opportunity is right.
And he's going to pull up when he's ready to pull up. You just got to stay ready. In our position, we don't have the luxury of being under the weight and we can get ready and we can do all the other what he has. If he fights because at 44, ain't that a welterweight? 44 is the same. 46, like we came in. Sure. Brian Norman came in at 46. We came in at 46. If Shakur come in at 44 or 45, it's all the same to me, in my opinion. So I won't be blindsided about not being prepared for this opportunity. So from a coaching standpoint, from a business standpoint, we're ready.
Obviously Eddie was talking about, Oshaki Foster and, Shakur. He was saying, are you going to pay $15 million for that type of a fight? I mean, what do you guys think about that?
Well, I mean, look, once again, I said, listen, if you don't have the money, I thought that's when you stopped having anything to say. You let the grown folks handle the business from there, I believe that you go to a place to take the narrative away that money is a problem. And if it meant going to Eddie and Eddie having a bag that was good and big enough to pay both fighters what they wanted, I'm all for it. If it's Turkey, if it's whoever, you got to understand. For me, as a boxing manager, I want to make sure that the fighters.
At this point, the excuses feel like they are running out. And fans are left trying to figure out who really wants to fight and who is just using the situation for leverage.
He got tons of respect for Devin Haney. He's a hell of a fighter, but Devin Haney can't beat him, as he's supposed to say. And Devin Haney uttered the same words, sentiments in reverse towards Shakur. Great fighter, but I 1000% would beat him, right? So Devin Haney calls him out. Yeah, me and Shakur be the next super fight. But he says, I want to fight his little brother, who ironically is only 27, 28 years old, right? This is what the sport is supposed to be. He's talking about he wants to fight Shakur's younger brother, little brother, first, who called him out after his fight the same night Shakur fought, which is former WBO lightweight world champion, superstar boxer, Keyshawn the Businessman Davis, who has 14 wins now, no loss, no draw, 10 wins by way of knockout. Keyshawn called out Devin Haney after he stopped, knocked out.
And with Keshan Davis now involved, the whole storyline becomes even more layered. Devin is saying the Shakur fight is still the biggest, but he is also willing to fight Keshan in the meantime. For Keshan, that fight clearly means something personal. He has talked before about feeling like Devin never really respected him when he was coming up around Shakur. So, a Haney versus Keshan fight would not just be a random matchup. There is history there. There is tension there. And there is a real chance for Keshan to step out of Shakur's shadow.
What's next? He said, I want Devin Haney. Devin Haney says, I want to fight Keyshawn the Businessman Davis. As I said yesterday, he fights and beats Keyshawn, then guess what? It makes the fight with Shakur and Devin that much bigger, right? Because it's a redemption, it's a storyline, so on and so forth. Devin has history, sparring session. We know the history, right? So Devin Haney wants that fight, as we know. This is not a surprise. This is what Devin Haney does. No stipulations. As father trainer and manager Bill Haney stated yesterday on the Boxing Voice, he stated, why we have to have stipulations, roadblocks. We ain't trying to do that. Devin moved up, so you don't have to drain this.
At the same time, if Devin beats Keshan, it could make the Shakur fight even bigger suddenly. It would not just be Devin versus Shakur anymore.
Shakur wants a 10-pound rehydration course. Keyshawn the Businessman Davis, as you're going to see right here, he explains why he don't like Devin Haney. Because, and people are asking me and sending me, this is an old clip that Keyshawn did with Wallow and Gilly, and people are asking me my thoughts. Is resurfaced because obviously the Devin Haney, Keyshawn Davis, saga has started to kick up dust. So it resurfaced, right? And Keyshawn Davis explains that Devin Haney didn't befriend him and didn't show him respect. He sunned him, as Wallow said. He little boyed him. When Shakur was telling Devin, this dude is on deck, and Devin's like, he's just a kid. Well, you got to understand at the time Keyshawn is talking about, you was just a kid, but Keyshawn took it personal. So Keyshawn explains why he don't rock with Devin Haney. But again, like I said, I think Keyshawn speaks.
It would become Devin beating someone close to Shakur first, then moving toward the fight everyone has been arguing about. That would add another layer of rivalry, pride, and pressure to the entire situation.
TO in first gear.
Why, Bill, why you say it was first gear?
Well, I didn't see Shakur have to make any other adjustment other than what he did from round 1 to round 12.
Yep.
Is that, he's on the list, is that a fight you guys are seeking, or are you leaving it alone since he's saying that it would require Devin to get a rehydration clause? Is that something you're willing to get on a phone and discuss how many pounds exactly?
Well, when you're speaking about Debo, you might hear a whole lot of that's inconsistent with things that you say about normal fighters. When you talk about a generational talent like Dev, you would expect those that are elite to look to have, to be on a...
Bill Haney also gave Shakur credit for his performance against Teofimo Lopez, but he used that same point to say something bigger about Devin. In Bill's eyes, Shakur looked good because he never really had to go beyond the first level of his game. He believes Shakur controlled the fight from start to finish without needing to make major adjustments. But when the conversation shifted to a possible Devin Haney fight, Bill made it clear that he does not like the idea of extra conditions being attached. For Bill, if Shakur is truly elite and Devin is truly a generational talent, then the fight should happen on fair terms. His message was simple. If both fighters are that good, then step in on a level playing field and prove it. No special rules, no extra excuses, and no one trying to control the entire narrative before the fight even happens.
I would like, and Devin to be a two-division champ. I don't know if that one or Xander Zayas or Shakur Stevenson is coming up or Keyshawn Davis. They're all really good fights, Ness. And you know what I mean, Manny? You know what I mean? Let me just stay optimistic about it and know that Devin's next fight, Devin is the best dance partner in the ring.
Is there no rush on behalf of the Haneys to announce a fight or look for an opponent at least until the end of this month to see the outcome of Barrios and Ryan? Or are you guys
you got to do
moving?
that. I mean, no, I'm saying you got to know that fight adds another.
Bill also made it clear that Devin's next move still has a lot of possible directions. He mentioned names like Xander Zayas, Shakur Stevenson, Keshan Davis, and even the outcome of Barrios versus Rayo as something that could affect the picture. But through all of those options, Bill kept coming back to the main idea. Devin is the best dance partner available. In his eyes, Team Haney does not need to rush an announcement just because fans online are demanding one. They believe the timing has to be right, the opponent has to make sense, and the deal has to line up properly. So, while fans are focused on Shakur, Keshan, and every tweet being posted, Bill's message sounds like Team Haney is staying patient, watching the division move, and waiting for the biggest opportunity to open up.